Yeah, not too crazy, but just
out some dominance. But when we look at the key players, it is the Indonesian import for Vamos, the one and only Gede. 4 eliminations, 5 knockdowns. Has to be proud with that performance. Yanbin getting the spotlight here as well for GOW, who actually did a lot before getting eliminated. Unfortunately, GOW's Yanbin 2,441 on the damage.
I mean, GOW was also in contention for maybe taking this game away to actually secure that God spot. Unfortunately, weren't able to, especially when CRM decided to actually start an active full squad fight just before they were about to make that move. With that being said, in terms of our game standings, 24 points, not bad. 12 eliminations on top of 12 placement points for Vamos, but EVOS has been catching up and getting so very close to the Booyah, but man, they keep getting initiated upon.
I mean, this is insane. I mean, the teams that did decently well in the previous game kind of crashed out this time around. GOW did average in the previous game, a little bit slightly better than average this game. Therefore, they are going to climb up on the leaderboard. I want to see this today's standings board here. Heavy up top. No Booyahs, 36 points, but majority of those points once again came from game 1. This time they got eliminated early. And if you look at teams like WAG Global, right, they got a massive Booyah earlier on. You were thinking that maybe they're going to climb up a little bit more. Unfortunately, early elimination this time around as well. This is a rough lobby, Gideon.
This has been quite the rough lobby. And honestly, I'm happy to see that Heavy is back in this type of position where they're trying to get as many eliminations as they can. My question is whether or not they're going to run out of gas, because we've seen time and time again, first 3 maps they do okay, but later down the line is where they start to struggle throughout the match. Now, the overall standings are looking pretty nice.
Absolutely. I mean, look at Vamos. This is my biggest concern. How far away are they from Clash Squad? Just 11 points. How crazy is that? All Vamos needs to do is they need to make sure they compete, number 1, with Reverse Red, get more points than them. Make sure GOW does not beat them today, and they are going to be all Gucci. If they can perform even better than WAG, that will guarantee them a spot at Clash Squad. And for Malaysia to earn that spot, this is huge.
Yeah, I totally agree. That would be quite the statement, some may say.
Yeah.
But again, I'm still keeping an eye out for some of the teams who are looking to make it into that 12th spot. One of which being AG Global themselves. Yes, they haven't done too great, but if they have a big game, I think that's going to pose a lot of questions. And ideally, it happens sooner within the day rather than later.
Yeah, most definitely, right? And once again, because we do have the second phase, things are going to be quite crazy. I'm looking forward to that. But for now, we're going to take a quick short break. When we come back, more action from Free Fire.
Hello, Greaser. Still so impulsive. Don't rush, little guy. We have more important things to take care of. Oh, come on. What a hassle.
Stop trying to look cool and help out already! How many of those do you have?
Okay. Time to save the day again!
Welcome back, survivors, to the Free Fire World Series Southeast Asia 2025 spring season, powered by Red Bull. We welcome them as the official energy drink partner for both the spring and fall FFWS Sea 2025 seasons. My name is AJ. I'm the Mustachio, down here with the one and only Gideon Q. We are your casters for the day. And today has not been the day of Vietnam or Indonesia just yet, because Malaysia out of nowhere, and as usual, Thailand making a lot of noise.
They're getting so close there. I mean, based off of the past two maps that we've seen so far, EVOS Divine has been by far the closest to actually securing the Booyah, but unfortunately keep falling short. And I feel like we gotta listen to that hashtag. They're getting a little taste of more. They want it badly, and if they don't have enough energy, they've got a Red Bull to keep them company. Hopefully, that's gonna be enough fuel to get them over that edge.
Yeah, absolutely right. And of course, if they can't push themselves over the edge through a couple of cans of Red Bull just yet, maybe what they want to be looking for is dropping and keeping their heads down low. We've seen this work out for a couple of squads already. Don't get into any engagements whatsoever. Try to avoid it as much as possible. Focus on the looting game first and get enough coins so you can buy those launch pads to get out of a sticky situation. We've seen that strategy a couple of times already. Yes, you don't get massive number of eliminations as you pull away a potential Booyah for yourself, but you get your butt into that final circle. That's one of the most important things in a game of survival for Battle Royale, but not many teams have been able to perfect this just yet, Gideon.
Based on what we've been seeing, the rest of the lobby actually like the early engagements. I'm guessing it's probably because of the flight path that we're seeing, you know, Heavy get involved so very early, CRM as well, which is a little strange because CRM isn't known to be like an early aggressive team. They like to play for those final circles, and they like to kind of hunker down, but it seems like they've adjusted their strategy on both ends of the early as well as the last stages of the game.
Yeah, I think it's very understandable that these teams are now desperate, right? Of course, your top flight teams, those teams that are very much comfortably in the top 12, top 8, are not going to be super hustling today. RRQ, I don't think they're going to go all out to grab a couple of Booyahs for themselves. If anything, they're just flexing. Today is just a warm-up day for them. They're already qualified for both, the second phase in the top 12 as well as the top 8 4-class squad. So, yeah, this is a day off for them. But teams like Core Memory, they're not even in the top 12 just yet. And top 8 is surprisingly not too far away, right? You just need to hustle. You just need to bring in the consistency. So it's very possible. They're pushing themselves. It's very doable. They just need to find the secret sauce. And, just get one good game like Heavy, but don't drop the ball the very next game.
Yeah, no, they have to maintain that stamina, right? Again, every single time that we come into one of these days, these 6 maps is a lot of variance with the number of points that you could potentially get here. Consistency has been something that RRQ has been working up towards. I think this is one of the fewer performances that we see them not getting as many points as we usually expect. They're still following their game plan to a T. Yes, they aren't worried, but I thought they'd be maybe a little bit more invigorated after like yesterday's challenge, that today they're like, okay, we have to at least get one Booyah to put us on the board.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And of course, let's take a look at some of these players here and see exactly what their moods are like. And as usual, Vietnam, all smiles, not too stressed at all. You gotta love it. And this is one of the biggest reasons why Vietnam has been performing so well recently. It looks like they have found a way to take the edge off of themselves and just go in and have a good time.
I mean, I'm looking at a couple of faces who aren't too happy or are deep in thought, and Dian being one of them, because GOW in that last map, getting griefed by CRM, which especially when they could have contested for the god spot of the map, he's probably thinking like, how do we avoid these types of situations? Do we need to take the initiative against RRQ first before anything, or should we have just, pushed CRM out of our direction first?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And of course, we are awaiting to see exactly which one between the two nations walks away the champion today. I mean, we've had these broadcast challenges all throughout the knockout stage so far, and each and every single one of them have been hilarious. Yesterday, we saw the biggest performance come out of Buriram, and the only reason why that was because there was no way in hell Jonah was gonna do the chicken banana dance after losing to RRQ. He will not let himself die with such a record on his plate. He just went all out. In fact, he was the super MVP of the day because of what he did for Buriram, because the captain was just not having it.
No, he would not let his ego be ruined just like that, especially with the image. I can't imagine it. Honestly, I literally cannot imagine him doing the chicken banana dance there. Either way, though, both of these, all the squads and all the regions, I'm not 100% sure on what the punishment this time around is going to be. Hopefully it's enough to start getting these Vietnamese squads a little more fired up. Because again, the odds are in their favor for the Booyah race, right? It's 4 teams to 2 based on the groups.
Yeah, absolutely, man. There is a possibility here that Malaysia continues to bring us to the uncles, because Team Vamos is on a tear. I mean, looking at the performance that they just pulled out, I think they are capable of so much more. And on top of everything else, they've got not just firepower on their squad. They've not just got a great import from Indonesia on their squad. They've actually got a lot of seniority on this team, right? A majority of their players used to be from Expand, and Expand is the best team, or Expand used to be the best team in Malaysia. Now their roster is filled with many new players that they are currently training. So Vamos is definitely qualified to find a few dominating games, but they haven't been fully serious. They haven't been fully focused. They have been kind of facing some chemistry problems. Fingers crossed today is the day they pull all of that together and make Malaysia really proud.
Well, they've got 4 more maps to do exactly that. If they're able to make 2 in a row, that'd already be a huge day for Malaysia, just in general, right? Because our next map is going to Alpine. And you already mentioned the seniority as these players previously played in Expand, the de facto best team of their time. And Alpine was one of the few maps that, again, they had a lot of success on.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, AG Global with the first Booyah, Vamos with the second, but who takes the third one, we'll have to wait and see, because when we look at the top contenders of map number 3, we gotta focus on RRQ, Team Falcons, and WAG when it is groups B and C that is concerned. And dude, you were kind of banking on RRQ finding those big numbers today. RRQ haven't really showed up strong. Maybe this is where they turn things around.
Got to get back into familiar territory, right? They are currently 2nd place in terms of the overall when it comes down to the stats of Alpine. No surprises, but now that they don't have to worry about Buriram, this should be coming into the bag pretty easily, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if EVOS wants to go 8 on everyone just yet and fight for the number 1 spot, because it's inconsequential. But of course, that being said, they could do it just for fun. Let's hop on into game number 3 and see exactly which nation grabs the Booyah for themselves.
Now, making our way to the highest heights. Be careful, boys and girls. Better bring your winter jackets, because these fights are going to be cold. Some may say below 0 degrees. Welcome to Alpine. Let's see the flight path. And finally, we get a nice neutral one.
A neutral one, but I'm still expecting a lot of early engagement, since these teams are just desperate for some points out there. RRQ versus Reverse Red could be a possibility if Reverse Red does not move on straight out towards railroads. But thankfully, these boys do have some cover. They have to be really careful here with the way RRQ is taking this drop. AG Global will face a little bit of pressure later on from WAG, who might not be rotating away from Brasilia very early on. So these are going to be the first few teams that we're going to keep an eye on. And of course, PE Sports, who just hopped off of that flight.
WAG currently by Rivermouth as of right now. Honestly, I am curious to see whether the performance of the Falcons are going to get any better here at Alpine, right? Because that's 2 maps in a row where we don't see them gain as many points as we would like to. And honestly, a very surprising early bow out in map number 2.
Yeah, and Expand versus PE Sports. Speaking of Expand, earlier on, a new squad for sure under the brand that they are training. And Expand has shown that they are capable of taking boys, turning them to men, turning them into champions. The question is, do they have the capability to take on a veteran squad in the name of PE Sports, who've been there, done that, even flew out to Riyadh to play some good games of Purify last year. Lao Ho up top, AC-80 in hand. He caused in a lot of trouble, but he's got the same gun. And Lao Ho's head should be a little bit easier to find from the bottom.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the audio teams have already kind of given him away. First blood achieved by CRM very early on, but so far Snowfall. This again, P Esports. We've seen 3 maps in a row on first drop, immediately contested every single time here. And I think that expands. Oh, Decause, he's already down. LBT was able to find him and secure the eliminations. Having control over the bottom foundation of the building is great and all, but now their backs are exposed. They have to play on the outer side. You see.
Oi.
Oh.
MP40. They caught up with him, but thankfully the skill does not find the connection. Real. Oh my god, Heavy. Hopping on it. To this battle potentially as well, just on the borders of Snowfall. EVOS Divine not too far away. P Esports
victim. But we see that Boots gets a good nade on towards Vamos' side. Everybody looking towards Vamos, trying to get them while they are down, and GOW ends up falling instead.
How unfortunate. Tan actually had the Horizon line on him, but outside the circle, the damage just too much, and the players kind of chipping in at him as well with those shots. Running now low enough. GOW just couldn't get into this next circle. Look at this, man, just like that. From 11 now down to 5, 6 teams back to back eliminated. And the uncles will not be seen. Not this time at least. Reverse Red right behind RRQ. Heavy making their way in as well, but not as a full squad. This puts RRQ in a terrible spot.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult. They have to eliminate these teams fast, but they've already found a pick onto Saming. He gets back up. Rosie taking a huge shot there, but Sypha is taking so many shots at Red. They aren't the only ones trying to hold this line, as AG currently holding the God spot, as well as having full fighting force. They're going to take that high ground, and now starting looking over the compound. Whoever's on the outside is going to get shot at. Ice nades to slow down. Even Mufasa trying to survive as long as possible. They're trying to deny RRQ from having full fighting force into this ring. Abe, he's still alive. Thank goodness. Playing as Heavy finally gets eliminated by 18 Deer. They gotta jump out as Diamond, Nameless, and Exposy will control this right side on the top of the map. WAG looking for as many angles as possible and realize that only AG Global are the ones in the God spot. They have to engage. As two fronts, we see war.
This is where the grenade launchers will come in handy. 18 Deer though. Oh, Nameless. Beautiful drop onto Mahal. AG Global chipping in as well to this fight. Reverse Red are able to overwhelm them, but Abe holding on, has got the charge buster, glue wall there to protect him for the time being, but Diamond fights this back, and Reverse Red able to outplay RRQ. Dude's nowhere close enough, tosses out those glue wall melters to get to his buddy, at least to shut down Diamond, and he gets the help from AJ Global, and Dew with the final nail in the coffin, Barros with the shutdown, and AG Global with a fantastic booyah.
Oh, they got so lucky on the next ring pull. It was right at the edge for them. They had the high ground already, and they were just shooting the fish out of the barrel. So many free eliminations stolen away by AG.
I will not mind if get to the end of the day and we see neither Indonesia nor Vietnam pick up a booyah, because it looks like AG Global wants them all. And what a fantastic second booyah of the day for AG. Now, we were talking about how AG was not even in the top 12. AG today is on a big mission. They are on a mission to find the top 12 first of all. Second mission is to make it into the top 8 and find a qualifier to Clash Squad. And I sure as hell will be disappointed if I don't see Dew sniping in Clash Squad.
Goodness gracious me. Honestly, looking at the kill feed, not as many headshots as I was expecting, but coming in from AG's Dew, but they were picking off the correct members, right? They were finding all the stragglers of teams getting free points by not only knocking out Heavy, but making sure that, you know, teams like Vamos as well taking punishment. I thought that maybe their position might be ruined by WAG, but even then, that full 4v4 on the bottom side of that last ring worked out in WAG's favor. We've seen their lineup before. Sustain hard. If you hit us hard, that's totally fine. We can take a lot of punches.
Yeah, I mean, they were taking punches left, right, and center. RRQ was giving a few of those punches. They didn't expect AG Global to get involved as well, right? Because when you're looking at the opponents right in front of you, you're laying out those glue walls just to protect the front, to recover, and then AG not even involved in this fight. Long-range combat, just uses those snipers and marksman rifles to take them out of the equation and then punish RRQ as well. AG took great advantage of the situation, which is why a little bit of luck is always sprinkled into this battle royales, right? You gotta have that RNG in there in terms of what guns you pick up and where that circle is about to move to, and that one, you can try to play your prediction, but you're not always gonna be right about it. But this time, AG Global has not gotten it right once, but twice. And if they can be that consistent, this is no just pure luck. They are creating, right? They're generating this luck for them. And I love to see this for AG. From nowhere to somewhere, this is very exciting.
I'm not gonna lie, AG, in terms of their prediction of where that final circle rate has been, is leaning more to the 60% side of things, which is, again, pretty shocking considering how, you know, RNG this game can be. Having that slight advantage makes all the difference in these types of matches. I mean, I'm curious to see what the questions are going to be for this upcoming interview, because we already got That's Our Pro. I want to see what else we can put on the t-shirts to sell.
It's time for Misa again, guys. Misa's gonna be back. I really don't know which one of the interviews I enjoy the most, because now I'm even starting to fall in love with the uncle interviews from Malaysia. We're gonna bring the cameras over to Thailand once again with AG Global and Misa.
Welcome back to the interview session, guys. Congratulations for the second booyah of today. And now I'm here with... Okay, สายฟ้า First of all, a lot of fans are cheering for you guys right now for AG to be top 8. Do you think you can do it today? แฟนกำลังแบบเชียร์แบบใจขาดดิ้นเลยให้เราได้ท็อป 8 ในวันนี้เราคิดว่าเราจะทำได้ปะ
ก็คิดว่าทำได้เหรอ
He thinks he will definitely do it, guys. Okay. How about signature pose? Do you have a signature pose that you want to show to the fans? มีแบบท่าประจำที่อยากโชว์ให้แฟนๆดูปะสักนิดเซิร์ฟthumbs up. Okay. How about what I interviewed Dude just now? He said that he's going to get 100 points for today. Do you think he can do it and get the pizza afterwards? เราคิดว่าเราจะทำได้100 แต้มแบบที่ดิวบอกไหมแล้วก็ได้นั่งกินพิซซ่าด้วยกัน
ก็คิดว่าทำได้แน่นอนเพราะต้องบูย่า
เอ้ยความมั่นใจเนาะความมั่นใจ He can do it for sure, guys. This is the second booyah after all. Alrighty, last question. Is there anything you would like to say to the fans who are absolutely cheering for you right now? มีอะไรอยากฝากถึงแฟนๆที่แบบเชียร์ตูดไม่ติดเก้าอี้กันไหม
ก็ขอบคุณที่เชียร์ทีมมาตลอดครับ
โอเคมีอะไรอีกไหมอยากเสริมอะไรอีกไหมโอเคไม่เป็นไรครับ Alrighty, guys. Thank you for supporting him and cheering this team. Of course, they'll do their best. Alrighty, thank you for the interview section. Now let's get back to the shoutcasters. Bye.
Thanks, Misa. Now, we got the quote for the t-shirt. We've also got the imagery for the t-shirt as well. It's all coming together. These are all selling points at AG Global. If they don't take advantage of this, they're going to be selling off like hotcakes.
We will see if or not that is gonna happen. First of all, the t-shirt with the tagline, that's what I'm looking for, man. I'll be customer number 1. So of course, Reverse Red, they started off hot and they found Vamos, but they couldn't really eliminate them from the equation. Vamos went on to survive for quite a while. In fact, quite a number of these teams survived for quite a while, right? 11 teams surviving all the way up until what, the 12th minute? And that was just pure insanity.
Every one of these teams were looking for a place to play, but unfortunately, the ring was not kind at all, forcing it out in the open field of Alpine. Just so many teams left to get shot at for free, right?
Yeah.
With the way that we've been seeing these games actually progress, we're seeing that these early engagements are working out, and AG Global not part of that equation. They're waiting for that end zone. They're waiting for that end ring to fully abuse a lock. And 7 eliminations, Sypha was hot, so hot on Alpine.
Again, it was all about the healing plays coming through from that Alok. It is all about that Olivia and the increased healing effects, as well as the spread for the team members who are within a 50-meter radius, which is massive in a Free Fire lobby. And the way AG Global plays their grouping so tight, you know for a fact that it's going to bleed over. That just increases their survivability. They've been able to prove this twice now out of the past 3 games that we have played. Interesting stuff. And once again, it is going to be the exact same lineup of active and passive skills.
Yep, they haven't changed it up at all. And I think that teams need, again, we've seen a lot of teams try even incorporating the Kairos, the Alvaro to try and start snowballing out of control when they do get to those end game rings to find early picks. But I think that AG has been making it so difficult that the only way that they're going to have to take them out is full squads and stopping them from even making that prediction in the first place, right? You got to catch them on ring 3 or even ring 4.
And I know for a fact AG Global is purposely nerfing themselves, because you are looking at your sniper Dew and he's not even running a full sniper setup. He's actually bringing in the Beaston on himself. He's actually bringing in a couple of characters that can help him find those grenade eliminations, right? That Alvaro was on that lineup instead of a Maro or a Raphael, which puts it at a situation where he's not going to be as deadly as a sniper as opposed to players like Saming or Moshi when they meet Buriram. So this is AG Global doing a little bit less from what they can actually do out there on the battlefield, and they're still shining. I would be very afraid if I was their opponent. Cypher finally highlight once again for the elimination, Saming for the damage, and this time Kochil with the 9 assists.
I think you bring up a really good point here. And I mean, based off of our key players, that's why we're seeing Cypher getting a lot of these eliminations, right? He was running 90% of the time of this match on the Woodpecker initially to try to steal away eliminations because they don't want to fully commit against their opponents. And now, because they don't have to worry about a sniper's position, they now have the ability to A124, shut off initial engagements, and then just start lobbing nades at their opponent when they're caught out in the open. They secure themselves 24 points with RRQ right behind them at 18. Unfortunately, no booyahs achieved for either one of our race contestants.
Yeah, no booyahs at all for them. And that's just insane. 3 games in, not a single one touched by Indonesia or Vietnam. And I think that may just continue by the looks of things. AG Global up on top now on the #1 spot with a total of 53 points. EVOS Divine heavy right behind them. RRQ on the slow climb as well. Down at the bottom, on the other hand, you see Team Falcons. 3 games in, they've got an average of 2 points per match. The Falcon fans are not happy.
Not happy at all. We still have 3 maps left. And it could be anybody's game still. AG still on that, still on trajectory to make another 50 more points to get that pizza dinner that they're all waiting for. But even so, right? We've seen that Heavy didn't bow out as early as they would have liked. They probably wanted to get a couple more points because they're still teetering on the very edge.
Right, absolutely. And of course, we now have started highlighting the top 12. We also should highlight the top 8 because those are the teams that are going into Clash Squad. You look at AG Global, where they are on the overall leaderboard. Not too far away. They are only about what quick math would put them somewhere just under 30 points required. They've got 3 more games to go. The way they've been working thus far, hitting a minimum 24 points per match when they hit this booyah, I think they can get it done.
I think it's definitely possible, right? Considering the performance that they are getting out of the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. Because again, we're seeing that these teams not only are getting more aggressive, but more headshots are being accumulated over these past 3 maps. And maybe it's the ray tracing technology, but don't count it out just yet.
Yeah, absolutely. You talked about the powerful AI capabilities, top-tier performance. If you're a content creator, if you're a pro player, I mean, the ability to create content is most definitely there. You're playing the game so much already. Might as well clip it, put it on the internet, and you want to have a good enough device to help you multitask and do all of these things, edit on the phone, everything, right? All on this one device instead of investing in a computer and whatnot. The beauty of technology and mobile gaming, and this phone literally gives you everything. I mean, look at Rasya from EVOS Divine. He's got, what, 7-8 million followers? That's insane. He's barely 18. He's just 16 this year, and he's already pretty much a millionaire.
Yeah, he's going places, that's for sure. But he still has a long career ahead of him. We'll see how it continues to flourish. As now our next map is going to be Kalahari. And since we've already seen 2 booyahs from AG and 1 coming in from Vamos, Kalahari, the Indonesians are looking at this and they're like, come on, put us on the board. We need this.
I mean, everybody's going to be looking to get on the board. The question is, can they scratch and climb their way into it? Top 3 teams that we have to focus on this time who are playing: Reverse Red, WAG, and Team Falcons. Falcons currently down at the bottom, only 6 points over 3 games. Maybe this is where they find the recovery. WAG needs these points as well. Reverse Red hasn't shown up much, so this is the opportunity for these 3 teams.
Yeah, again, a lot of the teams that we were, starting to predict to actually do pretty decently well, I think I've hit just consistency, but the big one has to be the Falcons so far. Bowing out very early in match number 2, coming into match number 3, I thought maybe they could collect a little bit more, but even then, I think this could be the map where they could find those very big points and put themselves back on the board. But that being said, I think it's time, AJ. We gotta get into this.
Let's to it, bro. AG Global looking for the #1 spot, but if Thailand continues to rip this away, I wonder what's going to happen. What happens then if neither one of the nations have a booyah? Maybe both of them are the losers of the day.
Oh man, that fly path. Look, I feel like the universe is telling us something. It's all like leading up. You get one decent flight path, and now this is the third flight path that hasn't exactly been too great. You might actually be right. We might not actually see Vietnam or Indonesia get a booyah.
That's insane if that happens. But of course, you can never say never in a good day of free fire. Let's see exactly who gets into the early hot drops, because clearly this flight path was having a rough start, and RRQ finding that rough start. LBT opportunity, but the animation on the drop puts him in a rough spot. But don't cry, with 6 HP manages to get away. Hopefully it doesn't break his foot on the fall. 2 more players on the side of PE scrambling, but they are about to be surrounded by Vamos. PE off to a rough start.
Very, very rough. They've been trying to contest a lot of these teams. Have been contested in a lot of these spots. Unfortunately, don't cry. Will end up breaking his legs. Falls to his death. Refinery in control of RRQ for now, but he's going to fall into the crosshairs of Vamos. Again, they like to do this so very often. The sub side is pulling these teams away.
Oh,
He's like, if anybody's going to take me out, I'll take myself out. Thank you very much.
Yeah, wrong number have I. He tried to dial his opponent, but he dialed himself out with the grenade. Unfortunate! In core memory,